Hey everybody, it's your girl Hita. I'm back for another amazing episode of HitaTalk. Obviously it's amazing because why wouldn't I be here talking to Wonder Woman, talking to you guys. If you haven't subscribed below, by the way, hint, hint, do that below. Today I have another amazing woman here. She is doing some cool things at the MIA, the Minneapolis Institute of Art. She's the Chief Advancement Officer. Big deal, hello. She fully embraces the MIA's vision to inspire wonder through the power of art. Amazing, right? She also mentors and coaches youth. She travels. She's got 25 years of experience in nonprofit. You guys, this woman's got amazing things, stories coming up. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. The lovely Julianne Amendola is here today. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm fantastic.
Thanks for having me.
So honored to have you here.
Well,
you are
I'm thrilled to be here.
an extremely busy woman with many priorities, and little old me gets to have you.
Goodness.
So by the time
Favorite part of the week.
you're such a doll. By the time people watch this, they will be like, "Oh my gosh, this is so great!" But what they need to know is that Super Bowl just ended 2 days ago.
It did.
And thank you for being here because you were running around.
It was a busy week. It was. You can tell I'm a little. I've got my Lauren Bacall. I'm channeling my inner Lauren Bacall.
The
today,
sexiness
so
comes out in multiple ways.
A lot of talking happening in the past week. So.
I want to know about all the things that you're doing. I mean, we can only sit here and talk for so long, but you play a pretty important role at the MIA. The Minneapolis Institute of Art has been around for quite some time, and you have had an integral role there as the Chief Advancement Officer. Real quick, what is that? What does that mean to some of us that aren't familiar, who don't get to read your bio?
Sure. So I've been at the museum for 15 years. The museum itself is now 102.
Wow.
So the museum has a great and long history here in Minneapolis, which is wonderful. And I've been fortunate to be part of it since 2003. And I came actually to work in what was at the time the development office. Now it's art advancement team. And basically it's shorthand for fundraising. But sometimes when you say fundraising, people go, I don't want to sit next to you at dinner. So
No. Well, haha.
advancement is a nice term for that. So really our job is to raise funds to support the work of the museum in the community.
Yeah.
And through doing that, we primarily are building relationships with people. So we get to build relationships with corporations and foundations and individuals and collectors and people not only in the Twin Cities but around the country that are excited about what the museum does. And then hopefully we match up their interests and their financial capacity with a project or something about the museum that they feel driven to support.
That's amazing.
And we encourage that philanthropy.
That is a really big deal because supporting the arts, whether if it's creative entrepreneurs or a big staple to the history of Minnesota, and a lot of amazing stops that come through the Institute.
Yes.
Donations, small or big, go a long way, I can only imagine.
Yeah.
But what is one of the big things that you guys do there?
One of the biggest things that my team does is to raise funds to support the special exhibitions that we have. And so every year we do at least 3 major special exhibitions that you see advertised, that are in our big galleries, that people buy tickets for. But we also have anywhere from 15 to 20 other exhibitions that are in the building at any given time. So we're always bringing in works. Sometimes we bring works from around the world that people wouldn't have the chance to see. And we're thrilled to have those come to the Twin Cities. Many times we're creating exhibitions, so our curators actually do research and travel and develop an approach to a particular topic or an artist.
Yeah.
And they create a show, and sometimes those shows then travel around the world. So
This is amazing.
yeah, there's a lot of financial support, obviously, that makes that happen. So that's a big
not
part of what
free.
we do. It's not. The museum's free, which is awesome. So a lot of the money we raise actually helps make the museum free and accessible to everybody. So you can come to the Minneapolis Institute of Art at any time and never pay for anything.
That's awesome.
See the galleries, which is an incredible resource.
The galleries are amazing. The exhibitions are amazing. Are there touring acts? Like, can you think about theater, or do you kind of special schedule them out?
Yeah, so we're usually working 3 to 5 years out.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah, because exhibitions are similar to theater. They're big productions. So for example, the exhibition we have on view right now, which is called Power and Beauty, is actually a very theatrical exhibition, and it has been in the works. Actually, this is a somewhat unique one. It's been in the works for about 6 months.
Okay.
But often we'll already be working on shows for 2019, 2020, 2021.
Wow. When I worked in corporate at Target, we were always in merchandising. You have to scale out at least 9 to 15 months.
Exactly.
And so when people talk about back to school in July, it's like, well, this has been in the books for, what happens every year.
Right.
But that's different because it's new and different. Do you have like residency exhibitions or residency kind of pockets of work that are always there?
So we have permanent collection galleries that are always on view. So we have an incredibly large permanent collection. One of the most broad in the country, actually. We're what they call an encyclopedic museum.
Oh, cool.
Which means you can find art of every culture, every time period, all of history you can find in our museum, all focused on the visual arts. And so our permanent collection galleries are always, again, open and free to everyone. And the curators are always rotating objects through those galleries, so there are new things that come on view. We're also always adding to the collection. So they're always finding new acquisitions and doing a little shopping.
There's a lot to do there, so it's not just
yeah.
looking at the art and what's on exhibit. Thursdays.
We do
Third
a program
Thursdays.
called Third Thursday, which is obviously the third Thursday of every month. And that's a great, really social activity where people can come and you can visit the galleries, but we have live music. We always have a great photo booth. We always do a partnership that's on a certain theme. So we've worked with tattoo artists, we've worked with the cycling community. Every summer we do a bike night where people can literally bike their way through the museum.
Are you serious? In the actual?
It's awesome. You can.
Is that a liability?
You can bike through the lobby.
Like,
you can bike through the lobby.
Like David, you don't want to be powering into.
There's a few rules and guidelines, but we try to make it really engaging. The museum's not just a place to be quiet and reflective and view art in a serious way, but we want people to have a good time, come with friends.
That's a common misconception. Conception is, it's like a library. You should probably be respectful, but you don't have to be like mute.
Correct.
And I like that. So, and then there's, coffee shop and wine.
Yes, we have a great coffee shop, and lots of people like to come for that kind of social engagement with their friends, or take a tour, talk to the guides about what they've seen, find out where else there are things in the museum that might interest them.
I love that. So if people can't financially support at a table next to you, how else do you encourage them to back?
Well, of course, the most important thing anyone can do is to come.
Yeah.
So we encourage everybody to visit the museum. We're really, while we get a certain amount of visitors from outside of the Twin Cities, we're really the community's museum. We're the people's museum.
Yeah.
We want people to come and take advantage of everything that we offer as often as they can. So please visit, bring your friends, introduce people to the museum and particularly young people. We do so much with the schools and so much with youth to really open their eyes, not just to the visual arts, but to the world's cultures. We're very committed to having our collection be kind of a catalyst for people to learn about people who aren't like them, and that's so important, especially right now.
So there's something for children. Is it on Sundays? Like
Family days. Yeah. So once a month, the second Sunday of the month, we do a family day.
Okay.
And that's a really great experience for families together of all ages, because there are lots of hands-on activities, and particularly for youngsters, as you know.
I know, it's on our calendar of free things to do.
It's free, everything, all the activities are free, and they're all drop-in. So you don't have to schedule anything, you don't have to sign up for anything, but there's a lot of hands-on activities. We always try to have storytelling and performances and things that are really kid-friendly.
That's so fun.
And then the galleries, of course, are always open for people to see as well.
So speaking of kids, you mentor youth. Or do you currently do that? Is it something you did? How did you come about this?
So a lot of what I've tried to do in my career, which I've been really fortunate in my career to have had a lot of expertise and a lot of really great people who've kind of helped me and been mentors to me. And so I really try to work with young people, particularly obviously those who are interested in the fundraising field, because it's not something I think a lot of people necessarily think about as a young person, and that's a field I could get into. And it's really a great place to develop skills that translate to lots of different areas. It's also certainly a field where we really welcome young people because we're always trying to grow the profession.
I love that.
You know, and certainly as more younger people become involved in philanthropy and involved in actually giving back, you know, it's really important for them to see their peers in our organizations as well.
It's really inclusive to all ages, which I think is so great. But I wanted to also tie in a little bit of diversity with that. How do you think we can incorporate diversity with this whole realm of art?
Well, I think the arts themselves are a wonderful platform because, again, for example, at MIA, we have all of these works that represent so many different cultures. So it's a great place for people to find themselves. Certainly we're starting to see our audience changing as the community changes.
Really?
As we reach out in many different ways. I think, you know, a lot of people think of particularly the visual arts as traditional in some ways.
Yeah.
You know, and we have a lot of traditional European art as well, but we're increasingly collecting more contemporary art. We're collecting art that's made by people of different cultures, and certainly some of the cultures that we're seeing more and more here in the Twin Cities. So we want to reflect that to the community. It's important that our staff reflects that as well. So we've got a real initiative to really expand our staff and increase the diversity of the people that work at the museum. Because that's the best way to make sure that we're offering things that speak to different audiences, is to actually have people at the table to say, you know what, this is what my family would be interested in, or this is what my peers would want to see, or this is the kind of activity that I think, you know, my community would really want to see the museum.
There's a sense of pride in that. There's also a little Persian section, if you guys didn't know. Goes back to the historical parts of Iran and the Persian Empire back in the day. But when people bring in friends and family from out of town, it's something to do, especially, you know, free 99, you can't beat that. But aside from that, it's really embracing and appreciating something that you don't see every single day. Or different exhibits that are on display. Maybe it's reflecting on Africa, or maybe it's right here in town, and there's so much local stuff. Do you guys have local exhibits, or not so much?
We do. We actually have a program called the Minnesota Artists Exhibition Program, which is unique. It's one of the only programs of its type in a major museum.
It is?
Yes.
You guys, the MIA is so awesome.
We are pretty awesome, I have to say. And the great thing about that program is while it's administered through the museum, it's all of the decisions of the art that's displayed are made by a panel of artists.
That's so cool.
So there's a team of artists that live and work in Minnesota. And if you're an artist who lives and works in Minnesota, you can apply to have an exhibition of your work on view at MIA, which is a huge opportunity, you know, to have an actual full museum gallery space available. And of course our team, our really talented team of designers and marketing teams and curators, work with those artists to really develop their exhibitions and install them and share them with the community in a way that's really a unique offering, you know, more than you might get just, you know, in a smaller gallery.
Yeah, that's so amazing. I didn't know that. And I know that I've personally worked with a lot of local artists. That's how my PR background started. But an internship that I had, I scouted local artists and musicians for Jungle Red's Rhythm and Red that I helped lead for a year and a half. And that's how I got to know the owner of this space, Anahata. But they take such pride, and artists take such pride in the starving artist quote that you always hear. They put so much time, resources, energy into one thing, and so for it to be on gallery anywhere is big, but the fact that you guys opened that door is huge. So,
and there's so many talented artists in this community.
I mean, I'm an artist in my own form. Can I just get like a podium and then just kind of like
you could propose
be in a rotating
Oh
my God. I already have my own YouTube series. Can it be anymore? So you do a lot of amazing things, but this is just one huge chunk of what you do.
Yes.
You did some stuff before. How did you even get involved into this?
So I actually studied communications.
Hey, girl.
That was where I started. So I went to Boston University and I studied journalism and communications and had, you know, kind of this vague idea of, you know, being a journalist, and then I was going to work in public relations. So I actually graduated with a degree in public relations.
And you got out of it?
Well, while I started...
I was going to say, that's not too bad.
While I was in college, I started working at the radio station that was at the university.
Cool.
Which was actually a major public radio station in Boston, WVUR.
Wow.
Home of Car Talk.
Aww.
And I started working there as a student and then stayed and kind of moved into the fundraising team and just started learning a lot about it and had a real skill for it. And so I worked in public broadcasting for many years. So I worked at a radio station in Boston. I worked at a radio station in Nashville, Tennessee, and we launched a nationally syndicated bluegrass show.
That's huge.
Yeah.
Do you know if it's still running?
Actually, that's a good question.
What was it called?
Bluegrass Breakdown.
Okay, Google it. Just for something fun to do.
Yeah, and then I actually spent 2 years working with an organization that was consulting with stations around the country.
Oh, wow.
So then I was based in Nashville, but I did a lot of travel, and I worked for public radio and TV, and was consulting with stations on marketing and fundraising and kind of data management.
Okay.
And found my way to the museum.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So you do a lot. You've done a lot. What do you see yourself doing? Maybe like in the next 10-ish years.
What's the long-term plan?
I mean, you might want to retire at some point, but you're so young, you don't need to. Really, it's fun.
There's a lot of important work to do.
What do you really want to do? If there's one more thing that you just have to check off your bucket list career-wise, is there anything left you want to do?
The two things that really intrigue me, I would definitely go back to some kind of consulting.
Okay.
Because I think that's a really wonderful opportunity to work with lots of different types of organizations and work with a lot of young people as well. And then as much as it's been such a great experience to work with people on their philanthropy and finding ways to give their hard-earned dollars to worthy organizations, I'd love to be on the side of also helping give away money.
Okay, that's fun. People like that.
Yeah, philanthropy is a really powerful thing. I think it's a really, at whatever level people can do it, I think it's really important because you have such a sense of pride and ownership in helping support something that you care about that makes a difference in the world.
Yeah.
And I think everybody, to the extent that they can, even, do something every year to help make the world a better place and to help organizations that are committed to causes that they care about. It's a really wonderful thing.
You and your partner in crime, Dan, do amazing things. You also have a little bit of fun.
We try.
So when you're not working, what does that fun or like me time look like? I know you've done some traveling.
We travel extensively. Yeah, so my partner in crime,
Terrible.
Dan, so he has his own business. And so he works with a lot of clients all over the country, so we get to travel quite a lot, which is great. So between his work and my work, we're covered, through the U.S. and we've been doing some international travel as well. So we'll be off to Italy this year, which is exciting. So lots of travel. We do lots of boating. We actually try to kind of stay home base in the summer in Minnesota because it's so beautiful.
Yeah.
So we boat. We're on Lake Minnetonka, and you can find us out there most weekends in the summer.
I need to invite myself, actually.
You have an open invitation.
So call it a date.
Call it a date.
Dan. He's right there, but still. It's important for the community to connect with you and for you to connect back with them also through events and philanthropy, maybe travel, personal. But what is it that you could ask your community to do for you? How can we, whether we're women, entrepreneurs, in a big company, travelers, supporters, how can we support you?
I think it's important for us all to support each other. And I think, what you're doing through this is a wonderful resource for people. I think, the value of networking I've had through work is wonderful because it's allowed me to connect with people who that I've then developed personal relationships with as well. So I've met so many people through the museum who've become friends and who've become people that I can go to and kind of lean on for support. And I think, just knowing that you have that village, to be there when you need advice or you need a connection or you need, a door opened, as you know, those connections are so important because even in our age of social media and cell phones and technology, it's really those personal relationships that make things happen.
Yes.
And so I think being available to each other to be able to say, hey, can you invite me to this, or can you open a door for me here, or can you make a call, or, say yes to me on LinkedIn. All of those, networking types of tools I think are really, really important.
Right. You are a brilliant woman. You are also smart because you're not on Facebook, so I will applaud you for that. You may hack into Dan's once in a while, but he gives you so much shout out.
I see lots of things on Facebook, you just don't know it.
No, I'm pretty sure you're like an owl, 360-degree view. But how can people connect with you, whether if it's to get in touch with the MIA or personally or however else?
Yep, so I am on Twitter. So I'm not a Facebooker, but I am on Twitter, so you can find
Twitter's
me
good.
at Julianne Amendola on Twitter. You can also find me at the museum all the time.
Yes.
So, the museum's website is a great resource, and I'm, always connected via email there, and you can find me on the museum's website as
And
well.
the URL is?
URL is artsmia, one word, at artsmia.org.
We'll have that link below. Ladies and gentlemen, Julianne Amendola, thanks for chatting with me.
Thank you.
We're not done actually quite yet. We're going to do an activity and some trivia. Will you hang tight?
Absolutely.
All right, don't go anywhere. That's Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, but I do love my jingles and theme songs, so we're going to play a game.
Okay.
This is called Name 3.
Okay.
I named the game. I'm so clever. I'm going to read a slip, and you have to list the 3 things that is alluding to this.
Okay.
The first one is, name 3 things that make you laugh.
Dan.
Uh-huh.
And Gene Wilder movies.
Wine. Hita.
Yeah. A good comedian.
There you go.
Good stand up.
There you go.
Okay.
Your turn.
Okay. Name 3 trips you've loved.
Dang it, I wanted you to answer this one. So I'm originally from Iran, but I went back for the first time when I was 6, again at 9, again at 15. So it's all back home. And I really liked it because it was my big first international trip. But at 15, you had a little more perspective than you did at 6. So that was really cool. I had a really good time in Cancun, let's be real,
Sure.
with my cousins several years ago. Stories, fun time. It was also my first real vacation. Like, I never knew like a vacation was check out of life, go enjoy, get catered to, all inclusive. So that was really fun. And honestly, I really like going up to the North Shore.
Oh, yes.
My hubby and I have gone there 3-4 years in a row. We went there for a post-wedding trip, and we had the baby with us. And I actually really loved it. One of the best memories.
Yeah, love it there.
Yes.
I agree completely.
Not Tuscany, not like Europe. I'm sure yours tops it, but those are one of my favorites.
We love them, and we go to the North Shore every year. You love it.
Okay. What are 3 of your favorite songs?
3 of my favorite songs. Oh, God, these are hard questions. I'm obsessed with Havana by Camila Cabello.
Oh, she's
Obsessed with that
great.
song. Oh, Nana.
Want to sing it for us?
No, I do not want me to sing it for you. Thank you for asking, but no. Anything by Bon Jovi. Who doesn't love a good Bon Jovi song?
Classic.
Classic. I'm a classic rock. Oh, and I'm a total Leonard Skinner fan.
I mean, hello. I'm sure like the
Sweet Home
playlist.
Alabama.
Oh, yes.
Absolutely. Yeah.
If she's not going to sing, forget it.
No.
Okay, your turn.
Okay. 3 things you can eat and never get sick of.
Tacos, sushi, Nutella. Bam.
Bam, easy, quick, okay.
Maybe all at once. 3 art forms.
Ooh.
You got all the tricky pressing ones.
Well, this is easy because we love to have art in our home.
Okay.
And we collect things that we love. And we have, as our museum director tells us, Dan and I have a very ecumenical collection because we have lots of different things.
It's a good word.
So we have bronze sculpture that we love, tons of photography, because we're huge fans of photography. And then paintings as well. So we have some friends who are artists who do paintings, and we love those.
Bronze sculptures are underrated. I think more people need more of them. They're amazing. I need
They are
a
amazing.
statue.
And you're supposed to touch them. So if you have bronze,
You are
make
supposed
sure,
to?
because it will patina. So make sure that you
You learn it from the lady at the
don't
Mia.
touch it at the museum, but do touch it. In your
Oh,
home.
okay. I'll come to your home. We'll
Okay.
touch all your art.
Last one. 3 favorite spots in the Twin Cities.
3 favorite spots in the Twin Cities. Ah, that's so difficult. I love a good Chino Latino. It's one of my favorites. Before Calhoun Square went through this crazy renovation, Independent was one of them, but I still love my Uptown. So Chino Latino is one. I love the Mia. Who doesn't love
Great
going to the
answer.
Mia? You need art. I mean, I'm obviously going to say that. And I love my lakes. So my name, Anahata, different from Anahata Collaborative, is Persian for goddess of the waters. So it's ironic. I'm very drawn to rivers and lakes.
You're meant to be here.
So Calhoun, Beta, Makaska is now the name we're going to go by. But those are 3 of my faves.
Lovely.
That's all I have for this.
Fun.
But
Yes.
this wasn't too pressing. Can I try to stump you with some
Sure.
trivia?
I did so well with the 3 questions.
I know. You need an award or something. All right, stay tuned. We're going to try to stump Julianne. It's time for HitaTalk Trivia. Oh, she hasn't got the shuffle. No one's joined me in this shuffle yet.
It's fun.
Yes, it is fun, you guys. I'm so much fun, and so is she. So here's the deal. I'm going to ask you 3 questions. You are probably going to get them, and I will find a way to stump you. But easy as that. The theme and the concept is around all things Julianne.
Okay.
All right, so Mia
Yes.
sits on a campus in the Whittier neighborhood of Minneapolis that covers nearly how many acres?
I'm going to say 5.
8.
Close.
So it's huge.
It's huge.
It's a lot of land.
It is a lot.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
Why is
Yeah.
it so big?
Well, so the museum actually was placed on property that was gifted to the city by the Morrison family.
Okay.
So if you come to Mia, actually the park that's across from our front door is Fair Oaks Park, which was part of the family estate. So it's a pretty large piece of property. It includes the Minneapolis Institute of Art, the Minneapolis College of Art and Design,
Oh.
and also the
Yep.
Children's Theater Company. And so it's not all just the museum space, but our campus partners as well.
Look I always learn such fun things here at HitaTalk Trivia. Question number 2.
Yes.
Founded in Minneapolis in 1983 and wildly associated with rock music, this band's sound incorporated rhythm, blues, pop, and funk. What is this band?
The Revolution.
The Revolution.
Yes.
Dan would be so disappointed if you got that
I'm
wrong.
really hoping I would get that one right.
My hint would have been Prince.
Please tell Dr. Fink I got that one right.
Yes. Yeah, you should send this to him later, right? Hey, you should watch this. Let's talk travel.
Yes.
Going to Italy is where we're going in this magical trivia question. So, Tuscany, or Toscana in Italian, trying to be authentic, includes a range of coastlines, coves, alleys, hills, and mountains. The rich soils produce the world-famous wines. Name 3 types of Italian wine.
This is an easy one.
Bah.
Brunello di Montalcino,
Oh, I just got chills.
Barolo, and Chianti.
And Chianti. And then there's Dolcetto, and then Pinot Grigio.
Pinot Grigio.
Whole bunch of Prosecco, whole bunch of other
Bene,
ones.
va bene.
Oh my gosh. So, are you Italian?
Yes.
So obviously she's going to have the pronunciation right. Obviously she loves going to Italy. Do you cook Italian food?
Yes.
I'm going to come on the boat, and we're going to
We're
go
gonna have Italian
dinner
food, Italian wine.
and wine.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for chatting
you.
with
Thank
me.
you for
It was an
having me.
honor.
So much fun.
Get to know Julianne if you see her. Give her a big high five. Go to the Mia and follow her on Twitter. And until next time, see you guys later.
Thanks.
Adios.